What is up, everybody? I am Bulletproof Brad, and today we got a special update for you. This is the Battlefield 6 community update. It just came out today, October 6th, as we can see right here. And let's get into it, guys.
Press start. Let's go.
Hello, everyone. In this community update, we will share how we are translating insights from the community feedback into changes and improvements for the Battlefield for the launch of Battlefield 6 on October 10th. Here's some things that they learned. With over 30 Battlefield Lab sessions successfully completed alongside our community, and a total of 92 million hours played during the open beta. Incredible, guys. Did you play the beta? I did. It was awesome. Battlefield 6 is the most tested and iterated Battlefield game in history, and player agency remains at the heart of it. Battlefield 6 has more ways to play than ever, and through the open beta, we aim to validate at scale that offering multiple playlists in parallel will not compromise the authentic Battlefield experience. Here's a closer look at some of the most important data points we reviewed. Okay, let's see what we got. Class pick rates. The map layout was the main deciding factor for class picks, as you would hope, right? For example, support had a higher pick rate on Siege of Cairo, which is a close quarter focus map. On Iberian Offensive with more long distance, we saw an increased pick rate for recon. Makes sense. So there was a lot of sniping on Iberian Offensive. Comparing between open and closed weapon playlists, we observed mostly identical class pick rates with only a 1 to 2% difference at most. Wow, that's actually kind of interesting to me. Kills per hour. The kills per hour also remained virtually consistent for both our playlist types. Open weapons players scored 0.2 more kills per hour on Conquest and 0.1 in Breakthrough. Match length. Match duration increased slightly within the closed weapons playlist by up to 45 seconds, or about a 3.75% difference for both Breakthrough and Conquest. Revives. We also observed a slightly higher revive rate for closed weapons at 3% for Breakthrough and 2% for Conquest, which coincides slightly with the longer match duration. Match duration. Signature weapon usage. More players played with non-signature weapons in open weapon playlists, as you would expect, right? You can pick whatever weapon you want. However, recon players still favored sniper rifles over the other weapons, and their pick rate was identical between both playlist types. Now, I think part of this is that maybe some people didn't realize they were in the open weapon playlist and they didn't have to pick a sniper rifle as recon. That is possible why they were so similar, right? Given more time, it's possible that that difference might have expanded. There was not a single dominant weapon archetype, and we observed a consistent and well-distributed pick rate between them. This balance shows that even with the different playlist types, players explored a wide variety of options without one class standing out above the rest. That is good news, guys. That means balance is at least in a decent place before the game even launches. Time in combat. There was no differences of note for players spent in combat between open and closed weapon playlist types. The actual differences were only fractions of a percentage, where rounded up, the results were identical. Lastly, another key insight from the open beta was the vast majority of players, after trying both playlist types, chose to stick with the open weapons. This reinforces our belief that open weapons is the right path forward for Battlefield 6. At the same time, we recognize that some players prefer the closed weapon experience. To support them, official closed weapons playlists will be available at launch. Good news, right? We get a little bit of player choice. For the people that really prefer the closed weapons, they can go do that. For people who prefer open, they can do that. And I gotta say, after playing both, I was skeptical of the open playlist, but I think ultimately it won me over. I like having the choice, even if most of the time I do stick with the signature weapons for each class. Additionally, closed weapons mutators what will remain part of the Portal toolset, so players can create and share their own custom experiences. Okay, interesting. That Portal mode, making your own game modes and things like that, is going to be insane. I'm curious, what did you guys think after all this? Like, did you prefer the closed weapons or the open? If you did prefer open, were you switching a lot to like not signature weapons to get certain gadgets and things like that? Let me know in the comments what combo you used, what worked best for you, because I'm actually curious. Menu and playlist updates. Okay, let's see this. For a launch, we are also making further changes and improvements to playlists and menus as a result of some of your feedback. All launch maps will be available across playlists from day one, giving you the freedom to play whichever map you prefer. Interesting. We tested having multiple modes in a single playlist during the open beta and learned that players favored playlists with combined modes. We will continue to iterate and adjust playlists to deliver the best Battlefield experiences possible. You'll have the flexibility to play in both single mode and mixed mode playlists. At launch, Conquest, Breakthrough, and Escalation will each have their own dedicated playlists. I'm probably going to be playing mostly Conquest playlists, but I'm curious what you guys prefer. Alongside these, you will see combined playlists such as Conquest and Escalation and Breakthrough and Rush, so you do not have to stop matchmaking when switching between those experiences. If you want to focus on a specific mode outside of playlists, you can always find it through custom search in the server browser. So there will be a server browser. I wonder how good it will be, how much information we'll get, like in terms of player count, map, modes. Will we have custom servers? That's a little different than just having a server browser. I'm really hoping we can get custom servers. If not at launch, then maybe eventually. Custom search enables you to select which map and or mode combo you prefer, and you will be match made into a match with these search criteria if available. You will have a higher chance to be match made into your preference the more you broaden your search. Okay, interesting. Here's Portal. Portal remains a tool for creating and customizing experiences, while the section in the main menu, previously called Portal, is now called Community. This is where you will find the server browser, which is now prominently featured to make it easier to find and use. Separately, we will launch the Breakthrough, Conquest, and Rush as verified modes within the server browser. This enables us to, for example, feature the hardcore experiences that we know many of you are excited for. Sweet. At launch, you will also be able to, you will find new custom experiences designed to add even more gameplay variety. This will be your first chance to dive into the new and improved Battlefield Portal toolset, now featuring powerful options like spatial editing. Don't know what that means. We cannot wait to see the creative ways in which you'll use these tools to build and share your own experiences. I can only imagine spatial editing would have to do with taking a pre-existing map and editing down the size, like the actual space available, maybe including the sky and things like that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Launch playlist rotations. We've learned a lot from the open beta, and we're using your feedback as our foundation for launching Battlefield 6. When the game goes live, you'll find a range of playlist options to jump into, including single mode playlists for favorites like Breakthrough and Conquest. That's where I'll be hanging out. Closed weapons experiences, intense close quarters battle playlists, and action-packed all-out warfare playlists. Interesting. So small map, probably no vehicle, and then all-out warfare with probably lots of vehicles on big maps. Interesting. So no matter what you want, you can get it. We'll be paying close attention to your feedback, adjusting playlists and adding new options to make sure things always feel fresh and you can easily find a match that suits your style. Please keep on sharing your thoughts. This is just the beginning. Well, that all sounds pretty good. Does that sound good to you guys? Let me know. On the horizon, we are incredibly excited for you to join us on the Battlefield launch, and this is just the beginning for Battlefield 6. As shortly after launch, we will launch Season 1 on October 28th. All right. So that's the preview. We can zoom in a little bit here. If you want to pause it and look at it, go ahead. Let's zoom out a bit again. There we go. Our seasons will have more content than ever before in a Battlefield game, and we will unpack that with you in more detail during an upcoming moment. There is much more to look forward to beyond our seasons as our team continues reviewing Battlefield Labs data, player feedback, blah, 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 blah. We appreciate all your suggestions. Anyway, up next, let's see what they got. The following gameplay updates will be included in our launch day patch with over 200 changes focused on bug fixes, balance improvements, and polish for release. Stay tuned for the full launch day update notes closer to launch. So there's over 200 changes. They've got a few listed here, not 200, but let's take a quick look at what they've highlighted here for us. Player. You'll notice that the movement feels more responsive with changes made to pacing and with several movement issues addressed to keep gameplay smooth and balanced. Okay, good news. Hopefully should feel a little better. Weapons. Recoil has been rebalanced on automatic weapons. Ooh, All of them? Interesting. Making long-range gunplay more characteristic, rewarding tap firing and burst control. All right, so going to be harder to hit at long range, at least if you're holding down that trigger, right? That recoil is going to be a little tougher to control. Numerous weapon attachments have been fixed so they display correctly in menus and in-game. That's good. Gadgets. The LTLM2 laser designator, has been refined with smoother deploy animations, updated visuals, and several fixes for better feel when used. The MBT Law is now the default engineer launcher with a more accurate trajectory, improved guidance, and clearer sights. The MAS 148 Glaive is enhanced with more realistic missile path, improved zoom and lock-on, and sharper scope visuals and more reliable vehicle damage. And deploy beacons are now limited to 1 spawn per player, 4 per squad total, helping maintain balance and prevent overuse. Okay, let's finish it off here. Maps and modes. Rush and breakthrough layouts have been revised for better balance between attackers and defenders. Operation Firestorm has been updated with improved vaulting, lighting, and performance, while Siege of Cairo spawn killing and out-of-bounds issues have been addressed. Oh, that's good. Yeah, there was a lot of, on the Siege of Cairo, getting locked in your spawn. Team would take over all 5 points, and it would just be bad. UI and HUD. UI and HUD elements are clearer with updated overlays, animated pings, and new minimap options, and smoother loadout and deploy navigation. Settings. Settings and controls have been expanded with new options like VO volume sliders, sprint bob reduction, and a camera roll toggle for accessibility, plus refinements across platforms. Audio has been cleaned up so pings are easier to hear, weapons and vehicles sound sharper, and missing delayed effects won't get in the way of your awareness. And lastly, network. Netcode improvements. Reduce desync. Make time to death feel fair. Ooh, that is a big one, and they just kind of snuck it in right at the end here. And address cases of invisible damage. The time to death feel fair. That means it should feel more consistent. You should notice that first hit maybe a little sooner relative to when the last hit comes in and kills you. So maybe you have a bit more time to react and either turn and shoot or run and take cover. So that should be really good because that was something a lot of people complained about. Thanks again for your trust, excitement, and feedback that helped us shape the Battlefield 6 experience. See you at launch, the Battlefield team. All right, so that is it, guys, for the update for launch. They said they're going to release the full patch notes later, so if you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed. If you like this kind of content and Battlefield 6 updates, please make sure you hit like. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Peace.